Anderson, and we're with the Doñana County Cooperative Extension Service. Today we're doing a tutorial on how to actually assemble the hydroponics unit.
Thank you, Eva. So in the first video, we talked about building the light stand, which you can see here. So if you want to know how to build a light stand, refer back to that video. So we were able to hang the lighting. Eva, will you turn the light on for us?
So just a simple power source is the power strip to make sure that you have enough outlets.
And we plug it in. So this is how the light looks. So we have a 4-foot shop light with 4 LED light bulbs in it. It's about comparable to about a 42 watts worth of energy used in here. The lights, when I first bought this unit, they were single, like a fluorescent tube LED, but nowadays, when you buy the whole unit, it comes completely assembled with all the lights in it already. So they're not changeable. So once you buy the light, it's permanent until they burn out, and they last a long time. So we're going to look at what all the components that we're going to need to do this hydroponics. One thing I forgot to mention was that the lights, when you do turn them on, to simulate a summer day, you're going to want to run for 14 hours, and you're going to need a timer. So we have an electric timer that would plug into the power strip, like Eva was saying. You set it up for 14 hours of day length on. Better set it up during the daytime when you're active, because you don't want the light necessarily running when you're sleeping and having a light on, or worrying about that. So we'll set the timers aside, so it's easy to do there. So one of the components, the first thing you're going to need is a clam shell. Sometimes people don't know what these are. These are things you can buy baked goods from at the store if you like sweet rolls, or you can go to a dollar store and get a plastic container. This is meant to hold a little bit of water in the bottom, so when we start our seeds, and the top is clear to let moisture and light, keep the moisture in and let light through. We'll do that in a demonstration here in a second. So the next thing you're going to need are these Oasis blocks. They're made out of rock wool. You can experiment around and use other things, but they come in these big sheets like this. This was $14.70 from a hydroponic store. And you take one of these, so there's 2 there, they just break apart very easily. And in the unit itself, I'm going to show the cover here. We have the lid. Remember we talked about having in the previous video, we talked about having a sturdy tote for this. You've got to have a sturdy tote to hold the water.
15-gallon tote.
15-gallon tote. We're going to put 12 gallons of water in there with the nutrient solution. So we drilled 6 holes in this. So we needed a 3-inch drill bit to drill those holes. Of course, you're going to need a power drill to do this. Makes it easy. Just drill 6 holes evenly spaced apart. Into that, we have the little net pot. Yeah. Like I said, for a number of things, you can make all these yourself if you're skilled enough to make them. Otherwise, you can buy these at a hydroponic store. They're a little net pot. They slip right in here. You see on the bottom there? Just slip right in. They got a little ring around the top so they don't fall through. And these little cubes here of rock wool. Once these are germinated with your seeds, they will sit in here. But then we have Tigertone. Tigertone is expanded clay pebbles. We bought this at the hydroponic store as well. And what you would do is in the bottom of this, put a few pebbles, these Hydroponic. They absorb water real easy. They're very light. You put the cube in here. So you put some of this Hydroponic on the bottom, put the cube in the center, and then you put the cubes around the outer edge. Here, I'll let Eva do that. So, but before you even get to that point, what you're going to do is take this cube, you're going to soak it up in water. See, you place this in here, put some water in there, and let that soak up. Once that's soaked up, then you plant the seed. It's got a little divot in the top where you put the seed, and you just kind of put that in there. Lettuce,
basil,
spicy glow basil, anything that stays small. There's some dwarf tomatoes like Red Robin, work out really well for a situation like that, but it's all about experimenting. So you would start them, get them started, so you put that in here with water, put the clamshell over the top, keep it, you don't have to keep these in light right away. So
How long are we looking for the germination?
well, it takes anywhere, lettuce will take about 3 days. It's really fast. Lettuce is very fast and very popular for hydroponics. Tomatoes may take 10 days, 10, 12 days. So once they start germinating, once that starts turning green, the seedling starts coming up, you got to make sure you get it under some light. Now this light is really high right now because our chain is too short, and that's why we said you need a 48-inch chain. This is the chain that came with it. So you want to make it lower here. You want to put the light probably about 8 inches above here and get them started. Once this is germinated, you would take the clamshell off the top because you don't want to trap too much moisture because then they would be more prone to dapping off and fungal disease. So they got to have some air movement. Let them germinate. When they start having roots coming out of the bottom of this little cube here, then you can get rid of this, save it for using another, it's recycle. Take these little cubes, take the little cube, like we were started demonstrating here. Eva can show, we put this in here. So we got the hydroponic cube, the rock wool in here, it would be germinating. The pebbles are all moist, we want to make sure everything's moistened up. We have the unit set up, and it would be bubbling, and we're going to show you that in a second. And we would put this in the top here, move it up a little closer. So you can see how it hangs down in there, and these roots would grow down into the hydroponic solution. Very easy like that. We'll set that aside. So we have the cover, 6 holes. We've learned that step. The next step for setting up the bottom is that you're going to need an air pump. And originally I chose to do a 2-valve air pump. So it had 2 lines going into the unit. And this is aquastone bubblers like you use in an aquarium. And that puts air into the water. And the reason you put air in the water is because you don't want the water to go stagnant. Because the water's going to be in here for a while, and in a few days it could go stagnant, start getting bacteria and rotting without any air in it. So you would take the pump, have that set up. The pump runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The light, remember I was saying the light runs 14 hours a day on the timer. So you have that separation. Here is the pump, just a basic pump. Get it at any box store, pretty cheap, not expensive. You can go online and get it too. Now we have a little bit of demonstration here. We have part of the air hose hooked up here. And I want to mention on this tote, I did not put the air lines coming over because if you clamp down the top, it would pinch it off. So I drilled little 1/4-inch holes on the side here. You want them high enough, it's pretty high on the side here so the water don't leak out here. And then you run the line through here, and that goes inside. And inside there, we have the air stone. So this is a long piece right now, but you want to make this shorter. Depends on where you put your pump too, how long the tubing gets. There's no specific fast and ready formula for how long the air tube should be.
And you could buy those at any box store, the
Air tubing,
and
stock, this is 25 foot, enough to do the whole hydroponics unit here. So then you take the air stone, you put it in the bottom, like this. So you can put this, it's a little hard to see. You put this flat on the bottom here, and when it's sitting flat, you'll have 2 of them on the bottom there. That gives plenty of air supply. I seriously do believe you probably could get by with 1. Now, on the pump there, it comes with, Eva, I'll let you talk about this part.
So this is a check valve that comes with it. You'll want to look at the arrow and you're going to attach it to your line with the arrow
Pointing away from
the pump.
The direction of the air.
Okay.
And of course, you would plug the pump in.
Into your power
And
strip.
it bubbles continuously. Then you run this through. Oh, you got to run the other line to work here. The other piece there. Through the little 1/4-inch hole we drilled on the side. And then plug this one in to the outside here.
Oh, no, we have the other air, the bubbler.
Yeah, right here. So that goes in right like that.
And then
It
this
sits
would-
outside. This would connect up to this one. I don't have a short piece.
And then this would be to your other bubbler that's in the bottom of your.
Same kind of bubbler as this one right here. You have two of those in there, and that keeps plenty of air moving there. If you want to try and economize, you probably could get by with a single air unit. But if you're running two totes, then you can split this and put one bubbler on each side. I mean, that should probably be plenty enough air, but I overkilled this.
And it would be a great science question to
Right.
if the more aeration affects the plant growth or a single.
So I didn't want to take any chances in the beginning, so I put two in there to make sure there was enough air. Of course, plenty of pots, the 3-inch net pots.
What about our
They
liquid?
sit 6. And the tubing, like we already mentioned. So, and then we have the nutrient solution. So I looked at a lot of different ones, got this from the hydroponic store as well. And the reason why these hydroponic solution fertilizers are so good, they're pre-made, and yes, they are expensive. This one happened to be $27.50. It goes quite a ways, but it has all the nutrition in there. You don't have to formulate it yourself unless you're a scientist and you want to, but it has everything from your nitrogen and phosphorus and potassium to boron and cobalt, copper, iron, manganese, zinc. So you don't have to worry about complete nutrition. It has everything in one unit. And this is great for especially a school where you don't want to sit there and fuss with everything. And it has the directions on there. You just follow the directions per the amount of gallon. In this case, it says most plants during early growth require 1 teaspoon per gallon of water. So we're putting 12 gallons in there. We're not filling this up to the top. Well, it's a 15-gallon container. We're only going to put 12 in. That's the most it'll hold. So then 12 times the 1 teaspoon. And it varies here depending on how you're growing the plants, and it goes up and down. So that's a nutrient solution. What else? So we mentioned, I think that's everything. We drilled it out, we got the timer. Remember, 14 hours, and you can get 1 on each side. You get 2 in here, 6. You can get 12 plants. You can produce a lot of lettuce. Lettuce produces really well. That's the most popular hydroponics vegetable around. I did find that the red robin tomato, it's a determinate tomato and it's dwarf, so it doesn't get too big. If you're gonna grow full-size tomatoes, you know, they can grow like 6-8 feet tall, so then it's not, you can grow them in hydroponics. You just need a lot of space and a lot more light than what we're doing here. So this is a really great experiment for kids to work with in middle school. The students there, they have enjoyed it. We've done some tests with that, and they love doing it.
Oh, and it brings more questions like pollination and flavor, and you get to actually try the produce or vegetables that you're growing in your hydroponics unit. So hopefully this has been helpful in starting your hydroponics units, and we look forward to seeing what happens with your plants and as you continue the curriculum.
One of the great things about this is that in the wintertime, it's difficult to grow plants outside. You know, if you're in the southern states, you could grow some things outside, but mostly as you go farther north or higher up in elevation, it's just too cold to grow too many things outside. This brings it right into your apartment, into your house, or into your school, and you can produce your own salad, your salad greens, and tomatoes, or anything you want. I've done peppers even. So it's a great way to grow some fresh produce for your own house.
And you don't have the soil.
You don't have to worry about it. It's very efficient. Thank you.
We hope you found this useful, and until next time, thank you.
Thank you. Bye.